Good evening everyone, this is Jaimini Astrology channel. In this episode we will obviously continue with our Mandook Dasha in Jaimini Astrology. Today we will choose or pick up a few Lagnas randomly and we will establish the order of Mandook Dasha. We'll do calculations of counting the Mahadasha years, like I've said, for a few Lagnas chosen randomly, because I can see the point, to do episodes related to every single Lagna. Previously, in previous episodes, I've just introduced you to the methods, the rules we follow while applying Mandook Dasha in Jaimini Astrology, so that should be clear. There's no point to record every single episode for each Lagna, okay? So, I believe in previous videos we covered 5 Lagnas starting from Mesha ending at Karka. Today we'll choose few random Lagnas. We'll do it randomly, okay? So we'll establish the order of Mandook Dasha. We'll do some counting of Mahadasha periods, etc., etc. Okay, so let's start from Lagna falling into the sign of Mina, okay? And we'll do the Mandook Dasha. We'll establish the order of Mandook Dasha for the Lagna falling into the sign of Mina, okay? So, just give me a second. Here is our Mina Rashi, okay? So, what do we know about the sign of Mina? It is obviously an even sign. So, in these circumstances, our Mandook Dasha will begin at the 7th house. We'll start from the 7th house, which falls into the sign of Kanya, because Mina is an even sign. Okay, I believe that should be clear. And obviously we'll count anti-clockwise. Yeah, in anti-clockwise manner. The order of Mandook Dasha will be indirect. Okay, so let's imagine first of all, that we've got at least 4 grahas falling into the Kendra houses of that particular horoscope. Yeah, that's when the Mandook Dasha becomes applicable. Yeah, all right. So let's establish the order of Mandook Dasha for the Lagna falling into the sign of Mina. Our first Mahadasha will be obviously the one of Kanya. Then we'll count in anti-clockwise. The second Mahadasha will be that of Mithuna. The third one, obviously, of Mina itself. And the fourth, the one of Danu. So this way we've completed the first cycle. Then we'll have to start the second one. Okay, I'll remind you that we're counting in an anti-clockwise manner. So we need to find one sign in trine to the sign where we finished. We finished our first cycle at the sign of Danu. So we'll have to find one sign in trine. Next sign in trine to Danu. And I'll repeat, we're counting anti-clockwise. So the next sign in trine to Danu will be the one of Simcha. Yeah, so our second cycle will start from the sign of Simcha, which is here. The next Mahadasha will be the Mahadasha of Simcha. Then we'll jump to the sign of Rishabha. That will be our next Mahadasha. After Rishabha, obviously, we'll land at Kumbha. And the last Mahadasha in that second cycle will be the Mahadasha of Rishika. Okay? After completing the second cycle, we'll have to start our third cycle. We finished at the sign of Rishika. We need to find one sign in trine, next sign in trine to Rishika, which is obviously Karka, and this way we'll start our third and the last cycle for the Mandook Dasha, yeah, for the Lagna falling into the sign of Mina, yeah. So the third cycle will start from the sign of Karka. Then we'll have our next Mahadasha of Mesha. After completing Mesha Mahadasha, we'll go to Makara Mahadasha, and the very last Mahadasha to complete the entire cycle of Mandook Dasha will be the Mahadasha of Tula, and this is done. The Mandook Dasha is completed for the Lagna falling into the sign of Mina. Okay, let me clear that picture and we'll choose the other Lagna. We'll select another Lagna, but let me just clear that first. Okay, I believe our next Lagna will be the Lagna falling into the sign of Simcha. Okay, the sign of Simcha. So sorry for that, that's a mistake. Let me clear this. Just give me a second. Okay, this is our sign of Simcha. Okay, Simcha. What do we know about this sign? Obviously, this is an odd sign. So our Mandook Dasha will start from the Lagna itself. Okay, and we'll count clockwise. We'll do our Mandook Dasha for the Lagna falling into the sign of Simcha in a clockwise manner. Yeah? So the very first Mahadasha will be the Mahadasha of Simcha. The next one will be the Mahadasha of Rishika. Then another one will be the Mahadasha of Kumbha. And the last one in the first cycle will be the Mahadasha of Rishabha. Okay, this way we've completed the first cycle. Then what do we need to do? We need to find the next sign in trine from the sign we finished at. Okay, so the next sign in trine, yeah, obviously we finished at the sign of Rishabha, and the next one in trine, because we're counting clockwise, will be the sign of Kanya, and Kanya will start our second cycle. Okay, so the next Mahadasha will be that of Kanya. After Kanya, we'll have the Mahadasha of Danu. After completing the Mahadasha of Danu, we will jump to Mahadasha of Mina. After completing Mina Mahadasha, we'll have the Mahadasha of Mithuna. And this way we've completed our second cycle. Okay, so then we need to find the next sign in trine to Mithuna, where we've finished. So the next sign in trine to Mithuna will be obviously that of Tula, because we're counting clockwise. Okay, so we'll have our next Mahadasha of Tula then at the beginning of the third cycle. Then we'll jump to Makara. After completing that Mahadasha of Makara, we'll have the Mahadasha of Mesha, and the very last Mahadasha in the entire cycle to complete the Mandook Dasha will be the Mahadasha of Karka. Okay, and that is done for the Lagna falling into the sign of Simcha. let me clear that picture, okay, and we'll choose another Lagna. We'll choose another Lagna. Let me just clear that entire picture. Okay, that's done. Okay, so let's say we'll choose the sign of Makara. Okay, this is the Makara Rashi. Just give me a second. Okay, we've got our Makara Rashi. What do we know about Makara Rashi? This is an even sign. So in such circumstances, our Mandook Dasha will start from the 7th house, which falls in the sign of Karka. Yes, and we'll be counting, obviously, anti-clockwise. Okay, so our first Mahadasha will be that one of Karka. Then we'll go to Mahadasha of Mesha. The third Mahadasha in the first cycle will be the Mahadasha of Makara itself, and we'll complete our first cycle in the sign of Tula. Yeah, so we finished the first cycle, alright, and then we'll have to find the next sign in trine to, obviously, Tula. Yeah, because we finished at Tula. So reminder, quick reminder, we're counting anti-clockwise, so we need to find the next sign in trine to Tula, but we need to do it in an anti-clockwise manner. So the next sign in trine to Tula is obviously Mituna. Okay, so we'll start our second cycle from the sign of Mituna, which is here. Then, after completing the Mahadasha of Mituna, we'll have the Mahadasha of Mina. After Mina, we'll jump to Danu. After completing Danu Mahadasha, we'll go to Mahadasha of Kanya. And this way we've completed the second cycle. Okay, so what do we need to do in order to start our third cycle? We need to find one sign, next sign in trine to the sign of Kanya when we finished our second cycle. Okay, so the next sign in trine to Kanya, obviously because we're counting anti-clockwise, is the sign of Rishabha itself. Okay, so our third cycle of Mandook Mahadasha will start from the sign of Rishabha. Okay, after Rishabha, we'll go to the Mahadasha of Kumbha. After finishing the Mahadasha of Kumbha, we'll have the Mahadasha of Rishika. And the very, very last Mahadasha in the entire cycle of Mandook Dasha for the Lagna falling into the sign of Makara will be the Mahadasha of Simcha. And this is done, as I've said, for the Lagna falling into the sign of Makara. Let me clear that picture and we'll pick up the last Lagna. Okay, we'll pick up the last Lagna. Just give me a second. We'll pick up the last Lagna. Just give me a moment. I'll finish cleaning that. Okay, that's done. Let's say we'll choose the sign of Danu. Okay, we'll choose the sign of Danu. Here's Danu. Give me a second. That's our Danu Rashi. What do we know about this particular Rashi? This is an odd sign. So we'll start our Mandook Dasha from the Lagna itself, because this is an odd Rashi, as I said. Yeah. So our Mahadasha will have direct order, will be counting clockwise. Okay, so the first Mahadasha will be the one of Danu, obviously. Then we'll jump to Mina. After completing Mina Mahadasha, we'll have the Mahadasha of Mituna. After finishing the Mahadasha of Mituna, we'll have the Mahadasha of Kanya. Then we'll have to find the next sign in trine to Kanya, where we finished our first cycle. And I'll remind, now we're counting clockwise. Yeah. So the next sign in trine to Kanya will be the one of Makara, and Makara will start our second cycle. Yeah. So here we've got Makara. So after completing the Mahadasha of Makara, we'll have the Mahadasha of Mesha. After finishing the Mahadasha of Mesha, we'll jump to Karka. And after completing the Mahadasha of Karka, we'll jump to Mahadasha of Tula. That's done. The second cycle completed. Then we'll have to find another sign in trine. We finished obviously at Tula. The second cycle was finished at Tula Rashi. So the next sign in trine to Tula is obviously Kumbha, because we're counting clockwise. Yeah. Okay, so the third cycle will start from Kumbha. So that will be Kumbha Mahadasha. After finishing the Kumbha Mahadasha, we'll have the Mahadasha of Rishaba. After finishing Mahadasha of Rishaba, we'll jump to Mahadasha of Simcha. Okay? And then the very last Mahadasha in the entire cycle of Mandook Dasha for the Lagna falling into the sign of Danu will be the Mahadasha of Rishika. And that is all done. Okay? So let me clear that picture. And we'll do a few examples relating to calculating the Mahadasha years. Okay? So we'll count a few Mahadashas for random Lagnas. Okay? We'll choose a few examples. Okay? As an exercise. Okay? Let me just clear that picture. Okay, hold on. Let's say we'll choose the sign of Rishika. Okay, the sign of Rishika, which is here. Yeah, that's our sign of Rishika. Let's imagine that we'll be calculating different Mahadasha years, yeah, different Mahadashas periods for the Lagna falling into the sign of Rishika in the Mandook Dasha. Okay, so let's imagine, yeah, that we've got at least 4 grahas, excluding Rahu and Ketu, falling into the Kendra houses of that horoscope. That's only when the Mandook Dasha becomes applicable. Okay, so let's say we've got it. Okay, just give me a second to drink a coffee, have a sip. Okay, so let's imagine that we'll be calculating, let's say the Mahadasha of Mina. Okay, for instance, so this is Mina. Let's say the ruler of Mina, which is Guru, is gone to the sign of Danu. Okay, so let me just write it down. So we've got Guru in the sign of Danu, and we want to calculate the length of the Mahadasha of Mina. So what do we know about Mina? Mina is obviously an even sign, so our counting will be anti-clockwise. So let's count from Mina. How many places the ruler of the sign has gone away from the sign of Mina? Let's count. Mina is 1, obviously. Then we've got Kumbha. After Kumbha, we've got Makara, and then we arrive at Danu. So we found the ruler of the sign of Mina, which is Guru in Danu. So our Mahadasha of Mina will consist of 4 years. Okay, simple. Okay, let's choose another Mahadasha. Okay, let's say we'll be counting the Mahadasha of Tula. Okay, Tula is here. Tula is here. Let's say we have found our Shukra as the ruler. Okay, as the ruler of Tula in Mesha. Obviously, Tula is an odd sign, so we'll be counting in a clockwise manner. But okay, let's skip that. Obviously, we can see that the ruler of Tula, which is Shukra, is found 7 signs away from the sign of Tula which it governs. So this is an exception. And here I talked about that exception many times. So in these circumstances, we won't give the 7 years as the length of Mahadasha of Tula, because, like I've said before, the ruler of the sign has gone 7 signs away from the sign it governs. So in such circumstances, as an exception, we'll give 10 full years as the length of Mahadasha of Tula. Okay, so that's the second example. I'll remind once again, 10 years for the Mahadasha of Tula, not the 7 years, because this is an exception. Okay, let's choose another Mahadasha. Okay, so let's say we'll be counting the years for the Mahadasha of Mithuna, for instance. Mithuna is here. Okay, and let's say Buddha is found in the sign of Makara. Okay, Buddha is found in the sign of Makara. Let me just write it down in the chart. So we've got our Buddha found in the sign of Makara as the ruler of Mithuna. Okay, so we need to count how many places the ruler of Mithuna has gone away from the sign it rules. Mithuna is obviously an odd sign, so our counting will be direct, okay, or clockwise. Let's count. 1, Mithuna, then we've got Karka, 2, after Karka we've got Simha, 3, Kanya, 4, then Tula, 5, Rishika, 6, Danu, 7, and Makara, 8. Here we have found the ruler of the sign of Mithuna. So the Mahadasha of Mithuna will consist of 8 years, because the ruler Buddha has gone 8 signs away from the sign of Mithuna, which it rules. That should be clear, okay? So let's pick up the last example, okay? Let's pick up the last example. Okay, let's take the sign of Karka, okay? We'll be counting the Mahadasha years, the Mahadasha length, yeah, for the sign of Karka Mahadasha, okay? Let's say the ruler of the sign, which is Chandra, obviously, is found in the sign of Kumbha, okay? In the sign of Kumbha. Just give me a second. Okay, what do we know about the sign of Karka? It is obviously an even sign, so our counting will be anti-clockwise. Yeah. Let's see how many signs Chandra has managed to travel, to go away from the sign of Karka which it governs. So Karka, 1, Mithuna, 2, then Rishabha, 3, Mesha, 4, Mina, 5, and then Kumbha, 6. Here we have found our Chandra as the ruler of the sign of Karka. So Chandra has moved or gone away 6 signs. Yeah. So the length of the period, the Mahadasha of Karka will consist of 6 years because Chandra has managed to move 6 signs away from the sign of Karka which it rules or governs. Okay, that's clear. So we've been counting, yeah, different Mahadasha years for the Lagna falling into the sign of Rishika. Okay, so randomly. Okay, let me clear that picture. We'll pick up one more. Okay, one more Lagna. We'll do it briefly. Okay, do it briefly, and that will be it. Okay, in the next episode we'll choose some charts, some real examples, yeah, to see how the Mandook Dasha works. Okay, if we can predict through Mandook Dasha, if the events from the past are visible through applying Mandook Dasha, yeah, is that a good predictive technique or not? And you will have the chance to, to have your own opinion on the subject. Like I'm saying, we'll be using real horoscopes, yeah, real charts, yeah, so you'll have, the opportunity to verify if the Mandook Dasha works or not. Okay, is that a good Dasha, to use? Okay, is that reliable, yeah, tool or not? Okay, let's carry on. Let's say we'll choose another Lagna. Okay, we'll choose another Lagna. Just give me a second. We'll choose another Lagna. Let's choose, let me say, let's choose the Lagna of Kanya. Okay, of Kanya. Just let me clear that. I'll do it properly. We'll choose the Lagna of Kanya. Okay, we'll choose the Lagna of Kanya, and we'll count a few Mahadashas, yeah, for the Lagna falling into the sign of Kanya while using Mandook Dasha. Okay, so let's say we'll do the counting of, let's say, Mesha. Okay, Mesha Mahadasha. Mesha is here. Okay, and let's say the ruler of Mesha, which is Mangala. Okay, let's say is found in Lagna. Okay, which is Kanya. Okay. Okay. What do we know about the sign of Mesha? Obviously, it is an odd sign, so our counting will be direct, yeah, or clockwise. Let's count how many places the ruler of the sign of Mesha has traveled or has moved away, has gone away from the sign it governs. Okay, let's count Mesha. 1, Rishabha. 2, then Mithuna. 3, then Karka. 4, Simha. 5, then Kanya. 6. We have found the ruler of the sign of Mesha in the sign of Kanya, in the Lagna. So our Mahadasha of Mesha will consist obviously of 6 years. Okay? Let's do another example. Okay, let's say we'll choose the sign of Makara. Okay, Makara is here, will be the counting the years for the Mahadasha of Makara, or see what will be its length. Okay, so let's say that our Shani, okay, Shani, the ruler of the sign of Makara, is found, let's say, in Rishabha. Okay, Shani, as the ruler of the sign of Makara, is found in Rishabha. Alright, so what do we know about the sign of Makara? Makara is an even sign, so our counting will be anti-clockwise, yeah, up to its ruler. Let's see how many signs the ruler of the sign has moved away from the sign it governs. So let's count. Makara. 1, Danu. 2, Rishika. 3, Tula. 4, Kanya. 5, Simha. 6, then Karka. 7, Mithuna. 8, and Rishabha. 9. Here, as we can see, we have found the ruler of the sign of Makara, which is Shani. So Shani has moved 9 places or signs or houses away from the sign it governs. So our Mahadasha of Makara will consist of 9 years. Yeah, we've counted anti-clockwise because Makara is an even sign. Okay, that should be clear. Okay, and let's choose the last example. Okay, we'll use the last example. Let's say we'll be counting the Mahadasha years, the length of the Mahadasha of let me see of Simha. Okay, let's choose Simha. Okay, Simha is here. Alright, let's say the ruler of the sign is found in the sign of Kumbha. Okay, so normally what do we do? What do we know about the sign of Simha? Simha is obviously an odd sign, so our counting will be direct. Okay, so let's count up to the sign ruler, okay, which is Surya. Let's count in a clockwise manner. Simcha, 1, Kanya, 2, then Tula, 3, Rishika, 4, Danu, 5, Makara, 6, Kumbha, 7. What can we see in that picture? Obviously, we have found the ruler of the sign of Simcha, which is Surya, 7 places or 7 signs away from the sign it governs. Here, do not forget, this is an exception. Anytime we'll find the ruler of the sign, 7 signs, places, houses away from the sign it governs, then we will give 10 full years as the length of that particular Mahadasha, and not 7, because this is an exception. Okay, so as we can clearly see, Surya has moved, has gone 7 signs away from the sign of Simcha it governs. So instead of giving 7 years as the length of Mahadasha of Simcha, we will give 10 full years, because this is an exception. Okay, that should be clear. Okay, and let's choose. Okay, that will be the very last example. I'll just remind, we're just calculating different Mahadasha years, establishing the length of Mahadasha's periods for the Lagna falling into the sign of Kanya right now. Okay, so let's choose the very last, okay, Mahadasha to count. Let's choose, okay, let's choose the Mahadasha of Rishika, okay. Rishika is here. We've got our Rishika, Rashi, here, okay. What do we know about the sign of Rishika? Rishika is an even sign, so we'll be counting anti-clockwise up to its ruler, okay? So let's count anti-clockwise up to its ruler, Mars. How many signs away Mars or Mangala has managed to travel? Let's count. Rishika, 1, Tula, 2, then Kanya, 3. We have found our Mars in the sign of Kanya, in the sign of Kanya. So it becomes clear, it becomes clear that our Mahadasha of Rishika will consist of 3 years. Okay, so here I'm going to finish, to conclude that video, and as I've said before, in the next episodes we'll focus on real examples. We'll see some real horoscopes, so this way we'll be able to see how Mahadasha, how Mandook Dasha really work. Is it a valuable and trustworthy tool? If we can apply that Mandook Dasha successfully, can we predict through Mandook Dasha or not? Can we trace the events from the past as shown or revealed by Mandook Dasha? We'll cover all of that in the next future episodes. Or what are the plans for the future? Okay, so we've been doing Mandook Dasha. Obviously, if you deal with Jaimini astrology seriously, you need to be well equipped. Okay, so you need to know how to use different dashas. Obviously, we'll do Chara Dasha. Yeah, this is our main dasha in Jaimini. So we'll learn how to use Chara Dasha. I believe we'll learn how to use Navamsha Dasha in time. Okay, so but like I say, gradually in time, because I do not have much of my free spare time. Yeah, I'm working, I've got a normal, steady, job, so I can't record as often as I would like. Okay, so like I said, just gradually with time, yeah, we'll focus on, learning, you know, Chara Dasha, learning and applying, obviously. Chara Dasha, Navamsha Dasha. We'll see how Mandook Dasha works in practice while looking at real horoscopes. I believe the the idea for now, okay, is to start from K.N.Rao's horoscope, yeah, because K.N.Rao is his own horoscope, has got at least four grahas falling into Kendra houses. So we'll start from K.N.Rao's horoscope. We'll see how Mandook Dasha works while tracing the events from his past, if these events are shown, are visible through applying Mandook Dasha, in if we can see the past while using the Mandook Dasha. Only if you can see the past, then you can successfully predict. Okay, that should be clear. Okay, I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm going to finish right now. Okay, I hope it was helpful. Yeah, take care, God bless, and I'll see you in next episodes. Take care, bye.